This is the story of a girl named Sarah. Sarah had just graduated from college and had come to another city for an internship. She thought of renting a room in an apartment near her office. When Sarah reached there, she really liked the apartment building. The surroundings were clean, green, and most importantly, the people there were very friendly. On her very first visit, many people smiled and greeted her with a namaste. Who wouldn't want to live in such a nice place? But there were a lot of people who had come to see the room, so Sarah thought she might not get it and was about to leave. Just then, the building's caretaker, Jerry, came and said, "Don't worry at all. We have vacant rooms. You'll definitely get a place." Hearing this, Sarah felt relieved. But when she went to see one of the rooms, she noticed a strange stain on one of the walls, like something had been covered with paint. Sarah didn't pay much attention and completed the paperwork with Jerry, preparing to move in the next day. The day of Sarah's first job also arrived. There she met a girl named Lisa who had curly hair. They became friends quickly. After work, Sarah moved into her new home. On the way, she saw a strange man. He had only one eye and was staring at her continuously. Sarah felt a bit uneasy but ignored it. At the apartment, she met a guy named Brian, her neighbor, who helped her carry her stuff. The people in the building organized a small welcome party for Sarah. Everyone was laughing and joking around. But in one corner, the one-eyed man named Lester was sitting alone, reading a book. Sarah kept feeling like he was staring at her, giving her very strange looks. At dinner time, Lester came up to Sarah and handed her a book. He said, "Read this. It'll be useful to you." Sarah was a bit surprised but didn't pay much attention. That night, when Sarah went to bed, she began hearing strange thudding sounds. She somehow made it through the night. The next night, to protect herself, she put earplugs in her ears. But as soon as she turned off the light, the same noises returned. A shadow passed by her door. Terrified, Sarah stood up and peeked out through the crack of the door. Outside, an elderly woman from the building was walking around. When Sarah spoke to her, the woman said she had an old illness, and whenever she missed her medication, she got restless at night. Sarah made some medicine for her. While chatting, Sarah noticed the same book Lester had given her. She asked, "Who is this man?" The old woman said, "He's changed a lot since his wife passed away, but he's not a bad man. Just deal with him wisely." Sarah then asked her, "Do you hear any strange noises at night?" The woman replied, "No, dear, I'm half deaf. I can't hear anything." But even after that, the noises continued every night, and they were becoming even more terrifying. One morning, Sarah found a note at her door. "Keeping pets is not allowed in this society." Below that, in red letters, it read, "Someone here is allergic to pet animals." Actually, Sarah had a cat. That same evening, Sarah called her friend Lisa over. They talked for a long time, and Sarah told Lisa everything. Lisa told her about the strange man, the sounds at night, the book, and the scary notes that had upset people. She comforted Sarah by sharing her own struggles. "Look, Sarah, I'm 38 now. No marriage, no support system, just one dream, to shine on the big screen someday. People laugh, mock me, but I'm holding on. Life isn't easy. Its ups and downs are what make it real. The mess of rent, the taunts from neighbors, these too shall pass. Just keep your mindset right. Whatever hardship you're facing is like a swamp. You'll only see the light once you cross it." Hearing Lisa's words, Sarah felt a bit relieved. But that very night, something truly terrifying happened. At midnight, a strong stench woke Sarah up. Fearfully, she stepped into the hallway and saw the microwave running, with that same strange note from the morning placed on top. Summoning her courage, Sarah opened the microwave. Inside was her beloved cat. Suddenly, a man in black appeared and grabbed her by the throat, forcibly tying her to a chair. When the lights came on, the man standing before her was none other than Brian, the same neighbor who had helped her earlier. Brian held a syringe in his hand, but Sarah managed to break free with all her strength, shoved Brian, and ran out the door. She began screaming for help. A neighbor stopped her and asked Brian what was going on, but Brian had no idea that the entire neighborhood was part of the same gang. He used a stun gun to knock Sarah unconscious and dragged her back into the room. Once inside, he injected her with a sedative. In the morning, Sarah woke up in a locked room. Jerry walked in and said, "You're not free anymore. I've sent your resignation from your phone and messaged everyone that you've left the city." After that, Sarah was made to stand facing the wall. Right at the spot where something had been hidden with paint, She protested, but Brian approached her with a plier. Just then, Jerry stopped him and said, "Wait, let me show her something first." That's when Lester arrived, the same man who had been staring at Sarah earlier. He showed his ears and eyes, which were now damaged. He said, "I was like you too. I resisted, and this is what happened." Now Sarah had no choice but to obey. Jerry explained the rules. When the red light on the wall turns on, place both hands on the marked spots. You can remove them only when the light turns off. There are cameras in the room. Don't try to be clever. Sarah was forced to repeat this action over and over. Day and night, from time to time, the elderly woman would come and talk to her. "This is all necessary," she'd say, "so that you can forget your old life and start a new one. Everyone here has gone through this process." At first, Sarah felt like all of this was complete madness, but she couldn't do anything about it. One day, her courage broke. She disobeyed the rule and removed her hands from the wall. Exhausted, she collapsed to the ground. That's when Jerry entered with a gun and said, "Put your hands back, or the consequences will be bad." He told Brian, "Bring the hammer and nails." Sarah now realized that the markings on the wall were already witnesses to someone else's pain. From that moment, she also understood that she'd have to endure the same. They were trying to mentally break her, repeatedly telling her that it was all for her own good. She was being completely reshaped with a new mindset. But one night, when her endurance gave out, she gathered the courage to pull her hands off the nails. Blood began to pour, and she fell to the ground. Jerry came in and accepted that Sarah had now completely changed. He picked her up, hugged her, and tended to her wounds. Then Sarah noticed that everyone had the same scars on their hands, meaning everyone had endured the same suffering. She was given new clothes. Brian and Jerry began her mental reconditioning. Her new lesson was a book titled The Power of Community, the same one Lester had once tried to give her. Meanwhile, Jerry told her that she would have to reveal all her deepest secrets so she could be free from selfishness. While reading this book, Sarah began to understand that this mysterious society had its own rules. Here, everyone was expected to let go of their inner weaknesses and selfish desires. Whoever made a mistake had to admit it in front of everyone and also accept the punishment. But forgiveness was also possible if one humbled themselves. At one point, Sarah even thought of killing someone and running away. But Lester gestured to her, "Not now, wait for the right moment." Slowly, Sarah started building trust. And based on that trust, one day she was shown the command center, the monitoring room, where cameras installed in every corner of the society kept watch on everyone. Sarah asked, "Who monitors this room?" Brian just smiled and said, "Not your concern." Just then, Sarah saw that the elderly woman had fallen ill again, and this time, her condition seemed serious. All the members immediately gathered. The reason? She was now granted freedom, in other words, death, because she was no longer useful. Fear crept back into Sarah's heart. She now realized this society was not just about ideals, it was full of cruelty. A few days later, Sarah was declared a permanent member, and a life partner was chosen for her. Arrangements were made for their marriage and having children. Sarah couldn't say anything. She just quietly went into the room with him. That's when Jerry returned. This time, he had a new problem. He said, "Your father has come to see you, but the rules are clear." Sarah would now have to break ties with her father. She had to drive him away, and if he ever found out the secrets of this society, he would be killed. The real reason Sarah had left home and come out to work was because her father had gotten involved with other women while her mother was still ill. But now he had changed. He had come to sincerely apologize to Sarah, and her eyes welled up with tears. She hugged her father. But just then, Brian appeared from behind with a knife. Sarah now realized that if she didn't send her father away, his life would be in danger. She hardened herself, pushed him away, and used harsh, fake words to drive him off. Her father was hurt, but his life was spared. After that, Sarah started living with Lester. But the society was now looking for its next victim. This time, it was Lisa, Sarah's friend. Lisa had also moved into the same house as a tenant, and everything that had happened with Sarah was about to be repeated with her. But Lisa was stubborn and even smarter. She decided that this time, the game would be played in reverse. "I'll pretend to bow down," she thought, "but the moment I get a chance, I'll end it all." Lisa's condition was deteriorating. Sarah tried to explain a lot to her through gestures to help her. But that mad society didn't budge. Brian brutally beat Lisa and tied her to a chair. Jerry also came in and said to Sarah, "Now you change her. Tear her eardrums out. Only then will she be one of us." Sarah was trembling. But the moment she picked up a nail, she suddenly turned around and stabbed it straight into Jerry's neck. Chaos broke out immediately. Sarah and Lisa both started running away from there. But just as they ran toward the exit, Jerry shot Lisa from behind. Lisa fell to the ground. In a fit of rage, Sarah pushed Jerry, causing him to lose his balance and fall. Sarah picked up his gun and walked toward the exit. The society members standing in front didn't even flinch. Everyone was scared because now Sarah had the gun in her hand. Just then, Brian appeared. He tried to manipulate Sarah again. "You can't escape. All this was for your own good." But Sarah didn't listen to a single word and shot him straight away. Then she started running. As soon as she reached near the main door, the society members surrounded her. Sarah was caught. Suddenly, Lester appeared. He snatched the gun from Sarah's hand and turned it toward the attackers. He made Sarah run away and stood between her and the crowd. He tried to stop the others. In the end, he shot himself so that Sarah could escape. Sarah kept running. She kept running until she felt that she was finally safe. But just as she turned around, there was a new signboard in front of her, and a CCTV camera's light was blinking in her direction. She remembered the question she had asked Brian, and now she had the answer. Someone else was watching everything. Suddenly, alarms started blaring throughout the area. Sarah understood. This wasn't just about one apartment. The entire city, the whole system, was being controlled by this. But she didn't stop. She kept running. She kept moving forward. The cameras were watching her every move, but she wasn't afraid anymore. She knew freedom wasn't easy, but she had to fight for it. The film ends here. Let me know your thoughts. Also, subscribe to this channel for more horror stories like this.